Welcome back to another video. So if you're new around here, my name is Tracy and this is our small holding adventure. Now right now we're in the middle, well that's not true, we're at the beginning of a 35-week series. We're actually on week 6, which is the video that you're just about to see, which is all around our response to the cost of living crisis and how we're dealing with it here, and any tips and tricks that we can pick up from you guys and that we can share with you guys along the way will also be included. Now, last week, I owe you an apology. I didn't put on the amount that we spent at Aldi, I just forgot. It came in at £24.70. And this week, which is week 6, and the grocery haul you're just about to see, came in at £24.58. So still under our £25 a week budget. So we're on, as I say, on a £25 a week budget. Every 4th week, so it'll be week 8 that's coming up next, we go down to a £5 a week budget. And I want to have a little chat after I've done the grocery haul with you all around that, because I think we can do better. For this week, we ended up getting some flavoured hummus, which we got last week, which was 79p. The apples were 90p and the tomatoes were 55. Frozen blueberries were £1.95, so they've gone up, and the mushrooms here were £1.20. The biscuits were just a little treat for the kids. They came in at 35p. The spinach was 30% off, and I think that came in at, was it 23p? Does that sound about right? The broccoli's gone up again, it's 65p. Bananas have also gone up. I got 2 packs of those who work out at 12p each, but the packs were 84p each. Cucumber for the salads is 65p. The milks are both the £1.55 each, and they're 4 pints of milk. The peppers are £1.20. The crackers came in at 85p, onions 65. Now onions are on the Super 6 as well, but these actually work out better for me because you only get 3 in a pack for 50p on the Super 6. So this just felt like a better deal for me. So they were 65p. The gravy granules were 89. Peanut butter was £1.15. The lasagna sauce, just to help me at the weekends, I might not have time to make it, 65p. Mushy peas were 30p each. Now I only got a small cheese this week and that was £1.55. Porridge oats, we got 2 packs because we're starting to have porridge on a morning, and also we're just going through these with other recipes. They were 70p each. The no-pack spreadable is £2.19, and I also got some bread at the back here, which was £1.10, just for the reasons that I was saying last week, where I can't always cut the homemade bread nice and thin for the sandwiches for the kids, so it just makes life a little bit easier. So that all came to £24.58, and I don't know if it's just me, but it feels as though we're not getting as much for our money at the moment. But that's the haul we got this week for week 6. I've got some rice in the Instant Pot. I'm just doing a really quick stir fry tonight, so I thought we could have a little chat whilst I'm making this. I've got some meat out of the freezer that we're going to be using in the stir fry, just like steak end, just not full steaks, if you know what I mean, just bits of meat that we've cut off from other things and left to one side. I'm going to have a little look in the freezers as well. So I've rather frustratingly lost my, well I haven't lost it, I've misplaced my tripod. So you guys are kind of sat on top of the knife block at the moment. So I thought, as I'm doing a quick stir fry tonight for tea, I wanted to just have a little chat and a little catch up about a few things that I've seen recently on YouTube and what's going on in the world and things. So I've already got the rice done in the Instant Pot, and that's just going to sit there waiting for me while I chop up some veg. I'm just literally using the odds and ends. This is a pepper that I'm chopping up at the moment. I know you can't see it. I've got some frozen sweet corn, different coloured pepper. I have got peppers in the freezer as well, so when they've been on offer previously, I'll just buy them, chop them up and bung them in the freezer. So I'm just going to prepare some of this, an onion, some garlic, that kind of stuff, and then we'll just have a kind of a, I call it a stir fry. It's just a load of veg and meat bung together with some rice and soy sauce. And we're also going to do some, preserve some garlic in soy sauce. I saw that the other day on a video, I can't remember which one. And I thought, oh my goodness, 2 of my favourite things, garlic and soy sauce. And you literally do what you do with the garlic and honey. It's just 2 ingredients, and you leave it to ferment, I think she said for a week. And then pop it in the fridge and use it within a year. So, perfect. I'm going to get that done after I've talked to you guys. So tonight, I wanted to talk to you briefly about the cost of living crisis in general. So here on the small holding, we are seeing prices going through the roof. I hope you can hear me over this, by the way, apologies if not. And the cost of feed for the animals, which I've talked about on some of the vlogs that we do, is literally, when we first moved in here 6 years ago, we were paying about £6 for a bag of chicken pellets or chicken layers pellets to feed them. It's now settled at £11 a bag. You know, obviously the people that we buy them off have no clue if it's going to go up again or not. So we're literally paying, you know, it's getting on for double. It's not there yet, but it's getting on for double what it was originally when we moved in. And it's just not sustainable. So we are looking at decreasing some of the birds that we've got. So we'll see what comes of that. But again, I'm very fussy when we sell any animals. Well, we don't sell animals. But when we have sold chickens in the past, I get very fussy. I don't, you know, I like to make sure they're going to somebody who will look after them as I would like them to be looked after. Anyway, so the cost of chicken feed is going through the roof. And obviously we're seeing in the grocery hauls that we're doing where even just like broccoli was 57 pence just a couple of weeks ago, and now what was it, 64 I think it was in this haul. And I know there's probably seasonal influences there and things like that, but we've just got to get a bit of a better rein on things. And that got me thinking when I was watching Dawn from a Smallholding in Wales. She mentioned the series that I'm doing, which was lovely, and she's doing the sort of her own version for the food mountain that she said that she's got going on there, which I've really enjoyed. But it made me think again about, well, hang on, are we actually using enough of our stuff from the Smallholding? And to be honest, I could do better. And I know we've got to take it easy on ourselves and all that good stuff, but I could do better. So I'm going to get my act together. It's getting dark outside now, so unfortunately when I've had these good ideas, can't do anything about it in the dark. So what we're going to do is, probably you'll see on next week's video, because it's coming to the end of this week, is make more of an effort of harvesting from the garden. I have got an absolutely huge perennial kale plant out there, which means it comes back every year, it doesn't die off. So this kale comes back every year, and I'm just not using it. I'm just not getting through it. I should have it canned on the shelves. I should have it in the freezer. We should be using it like at least 2, 3, 4 times a week in our meals, and I'm just not. So I'm not going to say I'm going to do this and this about lots and lots of different things. But that's the first thing that you're going to see us using a lot more of from the garden, because we've got it and we're not using it. It's as simple as that. And I should be, because it's free. It's very nutritious. And there's no reason why I shouldn't be. I should be making more of an effort there. So that's the first thing. And the other thing is, in line from where I was talking about the chicken feed, we are mortgaged here at the Smallholding. So that's how we were able to buy this place. We got a mortgage, and unfortunately, fortunately when we moved in, the mortgages were at a fantastic rate. And don't get me wrong, I'm not getting into the whole affordability and blah blah blah. We can afford our mortgage. We can afford more than we pay for our mortgage. So I'm not getting into sort of the nitty gritty details, but what I'm trying to say is that our mortgage is due at the end of October, so in a couple of weeks' time, and we're going from what was a fantastic, very low rate at the beginning when we moved in here, sort of from a 5-year fixed 5 years ago, to what we're looking at about 6% now. Sorry, family interruption there. Anyway, as I say, without getting into kind of the nitty gritty and details, because everyone's personal situations are different, our mortgage is going to have a significant change coming because of the mortgage crisis essentially that's going on at the moment. And yeah, we're waiting to see how that's going to impact us, what we need to do to adjust. But it has got me thinking, I'm going to have to do more. I'm going to have to rein it in more. But it also leads me on to the other topic that I want to talk about, which is around preparedness. Now, I was watching a video from the lady who does, is it Prime of Midlife, I think it's called? And again, it kind of struck a chord with me, because I got inspiration from Dawn's videos, I say, and it made me think about, well, I should be getting in the garden more again and doing more, because I was doing that. And even though we're having 1 or 2 meals a week from the garden, I can do more. And so that was from one video, but from the Prime of Midlife video, when she was talking about what is preparedness to us, a lot of people think that preparedness is preparing for some sort of doomsday event. Well, this is doomsday for me. It's not zombies walking around outside like she was saying on Prime of Midlife. It's about what it is to you. And, you know, as a country, we are struggling hugely. Our businesses are struggling. Where I work is struggling. You know, everybody is seeing different levels of impact because of the cost of living, inflation, energy, mortgage crisis, everything sort of coming at once. So I'm not prepping for the end of the world, and I'm not prepping for some sort of catastrophic doomsday event. That would be a whole different level. I am prepping for job loss, for sickness, for one of us being out of action for a period of time. And when I say prepping, we do have a lot of food here, as you guys have seen. I'm going to talk about the freezers in a second, because that's something, again, along with the kale from the garden, that I really want to make more of an effort in, because I just don't seem to be getting anywhere with them. Even though we're eating from them, I don't seem to be getting anywhere with them. And if our mortgage is going to be up at the end of October and we're going to see significant increases in costs because of that, and who knows what else is to come, and all of the things I've just said about job losses, etc., and potentials, there's no guarantees, it's all just potentials. I really need to get my act into gear even more than I have been. So preparedness for us, it isn't preparing for the end of the world. It's what we're doing now. It's making sure that we can take care of our own if our situation changes that's outside of our control, which is ultimately the only reason it would change. So food for thought, literally food for thought. And we've already cut back on our grocery budget, as you guys are seeing, but let's see what else we can do. Electricity consumption, we're really trying to cut back on that as well. So it's you know, it's more thought in that area, and I'm not sure where else we can cut back. And on the preparedness front, again, you know, we're trying to eat through the pantry. So why would I eat through the pantry when we're trying to be prepared? Well, it's about rotating the stock as much as anything. But, you know, to Dawn's video where she was talking about having a food mountain, we've got to make sure that what we have is usable and we like it, and actually we're not just stocking food in for the sake of it that we're never going to get to. So this week, for example, I've got to the tinned fruit. So a few mornings a week we have homemade pancakes, so banana pancakes, absolutely delicious for breakfast. And I've been, instead of adding fruit in that's kind of your traditional fruit, I don't know, more banana or maybe some soft fruits on top, I've been using the tinned fruit. So that's really helped this week as well. So I'm really getting through the tinned fruits, and I've been adding in the tinned beans. Again, these aren't going off or anything like that. I just want to start getting through some of the food that we've got, seeing what we enjoy, seeing what's useful, so that I know what I should actually be getting when I come to do a proper prepper list at the end of this challenge, which will be April of next year. So yeah, so we're getting through some stuff. Some things are working well, some things I can definitely do better in, and definitely can do better in the freezer space. So I'm going to get this tea on, because it's just sat staring at me now. It's all chopped up, so we're going to get it cooked. I'm just going to give it a quick stir fry. I might put some eggs in, so we've got plenty of eggs, and I need to make sure I'm using those. And once this is on and it's cooking away, while I'm waiting for the family to come, I'm going to talk to you about beetroot tops. I've just put some frozen sweet corn in because everything else is totally fresh. Now, something else I'm going to be adding to the stir fry are the beetroot tops that I was just talking to you about. We had on whatever night it was, a couple of days ago, no, last night, not a couple of days ago, sorry, I'm talking rubbish. I did a sausage tray bake, which you guys have seen me make previously. It's one of our favourite meals at the moment. Absolutely love it. So it's literally had the beetroots and carrots in from the garden. Anything else, I put some potatoes in, different colour potatoes. You've seen me do it before. But normally with the beetroot tops, I'm just composting them, drying them for greens, or giving them to the sheep. And this time I thought, hang on, we're not even getting enough greens in our diet at the moment for what I'm happy with. Why on earth am I not freezing them and eating them? So along with the kale, which is something that I really want to work on, I've got quite a few beetroot left to harvest, and I'm going to literally, I'm not going to blanch the greens or anything like that. I'm literally going to put them in a paper bag if I can find one, otherwise just straight into the freezer. Now I saw this on Simple Living Alaska, those guys, I can't remember if they blanched them for the freezer, but anyway, I'm not going to be blanching them because I'm going to be using them quite quickly if I do sort of a stir fry style dish once a week. And I'm literally going to chop the stems of the beetroot and the greens and just add them in here with the veg. And that's just another way of making sure we're using what's coming in from the garden. It's brilliant if it goes in the compost or to the chickens because they enjoy it. But it's even better if we can use it ourselves in the house, because that's the #1 priority obviously at the moment. So I'm going to add some of these in now. We can see how they turn out in the stir fry, and the rest are going to go straight in the freezers, where we can take a little look together at what else we've got going on in there. So I've just got the veg in here with a bit of ginger, purely because I had some of that squirty ginger left to use up. I actually went to show it to you guys and squirted it all over the kitchen, so I didn't. I put what was left in here though. I'll put the meat in last because it's, as I say, I've just cut it up into sort of small bits that'll cook really quickly. So it's just a nice simple meal using leftovers that we've got in the fridge and some cheap basmati rice tonight. These are the beetroot tops, just washed and stem still on. So this is off a variety called chogia, which is a lovely kind of candy striped or sweet striped, we would say, but it's called candy striped beetroot. And I'm going to just take a few of these and chop them up if I can get a hold of them while I'm doing the camera, and just chop them up and probably just use the ends like you would chop up celery or something like that and get those in the stir fry. You might notice as well, we've got the Aga put back together, so I cannot wait to bring you some meals from cooking on the Aga. I absolutely love her. We're at the mercy again, more cost of living. The oil price, which when we moved in here was 300 and something pounds for 1,000 litres. Little did we know at the time that that was a really, really good price, and even if we'd have stocked up, we would have used it all by now. But even so, we settled on, it cost us about £550 every time we bought 1,000 litres. So oil fuels the Aga and fuels our central heating, which doesn't work very efficiently anyway. So to be quite honest, we don't have it on. Our main source of heating here are the log burners in the room, which we use our own wood for. So that all works out nicely in a way, but it does mean that until we get more oil, because we haven't, it does the hot water as well, sorry. So at the moment, we are really rationing it just for the hot water, because we're down to like the last few dregs of oil, because the price of oil at the moment is back up to nearly £1,000 for 1,000 litres, which is just not sustainable for us. Why would we want to pay £1,000 for something when, you know, in February, before the war and all of that carry on, it was £550. It's just heartbreaking. However, we are at the stage now where we're going to have to make a decision, because we're going to run out and we're not going to have any hot water. Our immersion heater also, it does heat up the water tank, but it takes literally 4 or 5 hours and costs a fortune because it's quite a big tank. We didn't get it put in. So a bit of a rubbish decision that we've got to make. We'll see, I'll keep you posted. Anyway, stir fry's on, and that leads me into a recipe that I've made this week, which is this damson boshi, I think it's called, B-O-S-H-I. It's based on another recipe that involves Japanese plums, and I can't remember the details of it, so I'm not even going to try. But basically, this is just damson, cinnamon stick, 200 grams of damsons, cinnamon stick, star anise, and 30 grams of sea salt. Just put it in a jar together, and it forms its own liquid. And when this is fermented after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to be able to use these damsons. I would chop them up and use them in the stir fry and that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to that, because we're going to have a really salty kind of just lovely taste to them, which is something that we really enjoy here. So they're going to be going in future stir fries, and it's something that was so easy to put together. It took like less than 5 minutes, and I did a post on Instagram if you're interested in that. I'd use that in place of something like soy sauce. So the liquid that's formed, I would just use in the stir fries and things like that. You can use it in salads and rice and all sorts of different dishes apparently, but I've never tried it. So when I do try it, I'll let you know how it turns out. Well, glamorous shots from the garage. I'm going to show you the problem that I've got with the freezers. I've brought the beetroot greens out. We added them to the stir fry tonight. Absolutely delicious. I could have even added more in because they cook down just like spinach so well. They're a kind of like spinach Swiss chard if you've ever had that. Anyway, definitely recommend doing that. But we've got the freezers in front of me. So previously we had 3 big chest freezers. We actually managed to get one switched off a good few months ago now, and we're down to just 2. I would have continued with 2. I quite like having the 2 big chest freezers, but with the cost of energy, it's just not going to be feasible moving forwards, and especially if we're just going to see it go up and up. And with everything that I said about the mortgage going up, it's actually the end of January that the mortgage is up, but you can change it 3 months before, so I can do that from the end of October. So that's why I'm saying from the end of October it's going to take effect, because I think based on what we're hearing and how much the mortgage is, the interest rates are going to go up again in January. We'll probably better taking the hit sooner rather than later on the mortgage, which is why I'm saying about the end of October. Why I'm talking about that now while I'm stood in front of the freezers is because obviously when we have to start paying the extra, and we're talking hundreds of pounds, not just tens, all relative I'm sure, but anyway, just to put it in perspective, for us that is a heck of a lot of money. And when we're going to have to start paying that, I don't want to be worrying about having freezers on 24/7 as well, so that the electricity is going to be paying for the freezers, or using the electricity for the freezers, which we'll have to pay for rather. So really, I really want to get down to just one chest freezer, because I still have one in the kitchen, just a small one in the kitchen, and I've still got another one in what we call stores as well. So that won't go off the other one in stores, because that fridge is an outdoor fridge, which we do use for a lot of things. But even so, if I can get rid or stop using, because I won't get rid of it, of one of the chest freezers that we've currently got on, that'll be a huge step forward. But let me show you the problem while I put these beet greens in here as well. This is one of the freezers, and the other one looks pretty much the same. So as you can see, small gaps are forming where I'm taking things out. These are the tomato sauces, soup type things that I recently made. But we just have so much stuff, it's unbelievable. This is pretty much all meat, so this is why I never ever have to buy meat. I'm going to put the beetroot greens in here and show you what's in the other freezer as well. And there you go, you can see the problem. This one is just as full, if not a little bit more. So we've got the elderberries in here, which I recently foraged. You guys saw me making elderberry syrup just a week or two ago, so that'll be for our next batch of elderberry syrup. But we just literally have, I mean, they're all sausages, ice for our weekend drinks and things. We wanted all of this, don't get me wrong, and this is what we prep for and what we raise our raw meat for, etc. So we do want the full freezers and literally to have, you know, months if not years worth of food. But we've got to the point now where everything that's going on in the economy and, you know, what we're hearing, etc., etc., we're going to start using some of this down, and I really need to make more effort of coming in here and taking food from here and saying, right, I'm going to make a meal from whatever I pick, rather than, you know, looking for recipes online and doing it from in the house. I'm literally going to come in here for the next few weeks and just grab whatever I can. I don't know, 3-4 meals worth, let it defrost in the house in the fridge, and from that I'll be making the meal plans along with what we've got coming in from the garden. So I think we'll do that for next week, because next week I'm probably, we'll see how it pans out, but next week I think I'm just going to be concentrating on buying food for the grocery haul for the breakfasts and the lunches, because that'll then force me to just use what we've got for the main meals. But we'll see what happens next week. Anyway, for this week I just wanted to show you what we're working with, and it does get a little bit overwhelming because sometimes you can't kind of see what else is going on and it's difficult to navigate through them. And the chest freezers are fantastic because you can get so much in them, but if you don't have like the boxes and things that I've seen people have, then you can't always get to what you want. So these little gadgets here are fantastic to be able to lift out, and you can see I've actually got a bag which has got sort of ribs and belly pork joints and things like that in there. So I know everything that's in that bag, for example, but yeah, it can be a bit much sometimes, especially when you can't be bothered and you're tired and all that good stuff. Anyway, these beetroot greens are just wrapped in a tea towel, because what will happen is when they freeze, they will become quite brittle. And I'm literally just going to put them in this freezer like this, and we're going to be adding them into our meals as many nights as we can. And that is the complete lazy way of doing this. It would be better in bags, in a paper bag or something like that. Haven't got one, can't find one. This is it, and I'm going to close the lid on it now. And that's part of the problem. We don't have unlimited energy to be doing all these things. So as many good ideas as we've got, it all takes time to implement. So I've got to be easy on myself in that respect. So these are the kind of dirty secret freezers, whatever you want to call them, that I need to be getting to over definitely the remainder of this challenge, but really the remainder of the year. So I'll give myself until the end of January to get through one. And by that, we're not going to be wasting food or anything like that, certainly not. Haven't gone through all this trouble of getting it this full. Raising our own animals and things to waste anything at all. So it's not along those lines. This is something that we're going to be consuming now, or preserving is the other way that I want to look at this on the shelves. Basically what I mean by that is that we'll be pressure canning. So I've got a lot of meat in here that I can use for recipes to pressure can. I just need to get myself organised, and throughout the month of October it's not going to be an option due to work commitments and things like that. But in November I feel like we might have some sort of pressure canning series coming on, meals in a jar. Anyway, if you don't know what that's all about, take a look at my other pressure canning videos, because that's something that I really enjoy, and I think everybody who can should do that if you're in a position to be able to. So for now, it's getting chilly in the garage, so these are the freezers. We're going to look at this next week, but I just wanted to show you what we're working with for now and how it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes, especially when everything else seems to be falling apart at the seams as well. But we're all going to get through this together. Stay positive. It's affecting everybody. We will get there. Different day, same jumper. Well, it's already got to the end of the week, so I just wanted to close this video out by saying a big thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that comments or doesn't comment, everyone that's on Instagram that's following along on this. I know this is one topic on the cost of living crisis that's affecting most people, if not everybody. So I do appreciate it, and thank you very much. And in the spirit of supporting other YouTube channels, which I seem to have been doing on this video as well, take a look at Blue Self-Reliance, because that lady has been doing some wonderful things. Not only is she on TV, she's been, this recent video that I've just watched of hers was a bung it in soup. I'm laughing because that's one of the things that I've often talked about with Louise from, she's on Living the Good Life in Wales on Instagram. And she's my absolute best friend, and I always used to say to her, I'm scared stiff of making like a bung it in soup because they never taste very nice. Well, I've learned over the years that the reason it doesn't taste very nice is because I was probably bunging the wrong things in, even though you can use most things. I just wasn't seasoning it. So I was expecting this flavourful soup from something that was mostly full of water. Anyway, if you get a chance, have a look at Pam's videos on Blue Self-Reliance as well. And I just think it's really important to talk about all of these small YouTube creators and Instagrammers, because we are busy supporting each other and getting each other through this crisis and beyond, because when the crisis is over, there's life after the crisis. And, you know, all of the big YouTube creator channels that we all know and love and are absolutely fantastic, they're already there, they've made it, and, you know, they're doing their thing and not building a community because they've already got it. And I'm part of their community because there's some amazing channels out there. But I just think it's really important to support the smaller guys as well. So I'm really appreciative of everybody's support for me, and I want to make sure that I'm supportive of the other channels that I watch as well by letting you guys know about them. Whether you enjoy them or not, over to you to find out. So thank you very much for being with me for week 6, and I will be back very, very soon with week 7.